So welcome to the village, like progressing our goals meeting. So in January, I don't know how many of you were here in January. We'll go back to that in a minute. We set goals, and it was a really powerful meeting. And Jen and I planned last year when we were working out 2024. We thought let's make a point of revisiting them in June. So at our halfway point, it doesn't matter if you haven't achieved them. It doesn't matter if you didn't set them in January. It's just a matter of like checking in and working out where you're at now and then thinking about where you want to be. So, Jen, do you want to say anything at this point? Because Jen is like the queen of goal setting. I've just jumped on her back over the last 2 years, really.
No, I wasn't sure if I was going to make this meeting because I was meant to be away. So me and Linda planned it together, and the plan was for Linda to run it. So I will chip in where I can. I've got loads of ideas, and I'm so passionate about goal setting. So I'm really excited for us all to share, use the chat loads, and yeah, talk about our goals.
Okay. Well, here we go then. So what we're going to do first is we're going to I'm going to give you one heading at a time. We did a similar exercise in January and it was really good. So I wanted to revisit that. So what I'd love you to do first, and hopefully you've got a pen and paper, is write down the word proud, please. And can you write at least one thing underneath that heading that you are proud of that has happened either in your business or your personal life from January this year? There might be more than one thing, but can you come up with as many as you can in 2 minutes, but one is awesome, of things you're proud of from the first half of 2024? I'd also love you to notice when you're doing this how hard or easy you're finding it. Like, are you struggling to allow yourself to be proud of yourself? Or are you like, hell yeah, I've got loads to be proud of, even if it's not like massive things? Like, so just be aware of that because it's really important that you celebrate yourself. When you're ready, and I'm not rushing you, so if you want to keep going on the proud, you can you write down the word challenge, please? And then I'd love you to write underneath that heading. Maybe there's been one significant challenge this year, maybe there's been a few. Like, what things have been challenging in the first half of this year that you've had to deal with? And yeah. When you're ready, and again, not rushing you, can you write your third heading, which is learn? Learn. Have you had any significant learning experiences this year? has anything happened which has been something that you're like, okay, I can learn from this? It can be positive, it can be negative, but what has been your biggest learning so far? Because there's only 3, 6, 9, 10 of us, originally I was thinking I'd split, but I think maybe we'll hang out as a 10. It's kind of nice. And it'll be really cool just to have like 2 minutes each now. It doesn't overtake the meeting, but it just gives us a little starting point where if you're happy to, you just vocalize what you've just written. You don't have to, obviously, but it's really nice to hear from each other and see where they're at. If you're still writing, obviously continue. Jen, are you happy to go first?
Yes, I've written loads, so I'm going to just pick a few things. I'm proud that my baby sleeps in the day because my daughter never slept at all in the day and it was horrific. I don't actually know how that's happened. And kind of linked to this, something that I found challenging, but I'm also proud of, is I've done a bit of work since having the baby, which I was quite anxious about, and juggling work and the baby has been a bit like stressful. But I'm really proud that I've actually done, I've done some really amazing workshops in London and generated like income, which means that I can take more time off work if I want to. And then in terms of learning, I think the thing I've struggled with also is the chaos at home, like the overwhelm and the stress of the like crazy messy house that we constantly seem to have. But I think I've just tried to learn recently that the chaos is okay. And I need to just get over it and just take a deep breath and say it doesn't actually matter that much. So yeah, that's me.
Just like raise your eye line so you don't see the floor.
Shut Mabel's bedroom door.
Yeah, just everything from like nose upwards. It's fine, it's totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a really good exercise for me to do. Enjoyed that.
Perfect. Woo. Nikki.
On mute, didn't realise I was on mute. Things I'm proud of are making a difference to birth. I've been privileged and I see it as an honour that I've witnessed a lot of birth this year, and in some small way I feel like I've made a difference and contributed to that being a positive experience for the mums. And postnatally I've supported loads of families so far this year, more than I anticipated or thought I would. And seeing that as a difference, I'm really proud of that. I've been supporting a few families for like ongoing for like 5 months, and just to see how they've grown and where they are makes my heart fill with joy. So that is good. Keeping my dog alive is a bonus. I'm proud of that. Supporting my family. So unfortunately, I've had a lot of illness in my family and my friends, and I've managed to still be able to be present and support them. So I'm quite proud of that, because with that and the work, I didn't think I would. So yeah, challenges is just putting the whole marketing side of my business. I've said this before here, I'm not techie, I hate tech, I don't this is all new to me. So actually the whole social media marketing, just, you know, work doesn't just come to you, although I've been very fortunate, I've been lucky, and I think I've just been recommended, but I found that as a real challenge, and that's one I still find challenging. Learning, I've learned how to navigate a system that is on its knees a little bit at the minute, and I'm slowly learning that, you know, we've got to work with it, and it's not about looking at negative, it's about what we can do to improve it. So that's a learning thing every day for me. And also learning to be a bit kinder to myself, you know, and knowing that I don't have the answers, or I can't fix everything, and I don't have to. It's all right, just showing up and just doing the best you can is so I've got to learn to do more of that. I sometimes put a lot of pressure on myself that I've got to fix it, and I want the answer, and I want to make everything better, but that's not life, is it really? And yeah, learning to keep my dog alive. She keeps popping up because poor little Teals, she does suffer a little bit. She's there asleep. But yeah, that was mine.
I love that. And I think that Kerry's doing it too. You said, like, I'm really lucky, I've been recommended. It's not lucky, that's because you're awesome.
Oh, thank you very
So
much.
yeah, take that as well as like a proud thing, not a lucky thing.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'll get all emotional now. The perimenopause is hitting me hard, ladies, so don't say anything too nice.
All right, I'll be horrible. Thank you. Gemma, you look like an angel, by the way, because the sun's coming in on your face.
There we go. So I can't stop the sun. It's just like beaming in everywhere I go. It's just following me. So I've kind of done this from like a business kind of perspective. So things I'm proud of are, I finally got my website. I feel like it was a long time coming, but really, really love it and really proud of that. And holding my first retreat as well. That's definitely something that I've been so proud of. And then planning the second one, which is amazing. And I finally joined TikTok. And it's something that I don't understand still, but I've joined it. So that's a start. My challenge is trying to do more than one thing at a time. Well, I'm not very good at that. And I'm kind of like juggling balls all the time. And the learning, actually, no, it's kind of like a learning and a challenge, but I spend so much of my time booking people in, waiting for answers from me, like people if they can do this time or that time. It's because I avoid a booking system. So that's definitely a challenge and something that I'm learning, that I need to kind of maybe have something in place that's not a booking system, but I don't know what, to kind of help me through it. Because I feel like I spend most of my time, can you do this date, waiting for them to come back? You can't give that date until you've heard back from them. And I feel like I'm constantly doing that. So that's definitely a challenge that I've got, that I'm learning, that actually I spend a lot of my time wasted in a way. Yeah, and I'm not very good at asking for help. That's definitely something that I'm not very good at either. So yeah, that's me.
It's good to notice though, isn't it? Because then you can reflect on it and think, right, do I want to make some changes around this? So yeah,
definitely. Absolutely.
Thank you. Amy.
That's it. So I think, yeah, those that were here in January may have remembered that was my first month. I'd left my full-time employed job in December, and my first month kind of being full on in business. So it was a really great time to set goals. So I'm just sort of looking back over the last 5 months. Something I'm proud of is generating my own work, because that has happened. I've actually been really busy, a lot more than I thought I would be. So that's been brilliant. And the other thing on a more personal note is that I made a commitment, and a lot of my goals back in January were around prioritising health and fitness, and I've been able to do that, having more time and not being employed. I have prioritised that and been quite consistent with that, and really sort of starting to feel the benefits of that now. So that's good. In terms of challenge, I am still struggling with getting visible. And I think I've realised that LinkedIn is probably the right platform for me for a lot of the work I'm doing with corporates around the wellbeing stuff. And I have made a few posts over the last few months, but it's nowhere near consistent yet. So I'm just sort of trying to work through why that is, which is interesting, because then I've written down from my learning point, and it's a positive that I've learned that I can actually sell, and I have been able to sell my services. And I'm just sort of trying to work out why I'm struggling to be visible or put myself out there kind of on a social media platform. But actually, once I'm talking to someone, I'm able to sort of convey, I guess, how I can help, and that is sort of then leading to work. So it's been a really interesting few months, I think. But good time to be reflecting.
Yeah, love that. Well done, Amy.
Thank you.
Sophie, welcome.
Thank you. So I've gone down here, sort of a business mindset with this. So I am proud that my business is still alive after 1 year of maternity leave. So for just over a year now, I haven't been teaching my classes. I've been still working and doing all the marketing and the running the sort of behind the scenes, but I haven't physically been to work. So I'm counting it as maternity leave. And I'm still here, which is great. My challenge is now finding the motivation to pick myself back up again and get back into it. I was really lucky for an entire year. The numbers were great in my classes. It was all going really, really well. And I feel like it's now that I'm seeing the impact of taking my foot off the pedal, and things have just slowed down a little bit and the numbers are a bit lower than I'd like. So feeling a bit disconnected from it, a little bit deflated. I know what I need to do. I know I need to get myself back into it. But juggling 2 children, getting back into it, just finding that mindset again, I'm just, struggling with at the moment. But I have learnt that I can let go of the reins, that my instructor is fantastic and that it has survived because of her. And that actually going forward, I think I'm going to look into taking on another instructor, and so that I can grow my business in the way that I want to, but without me having to take on all of the extra hours and all the extra teaching. Because for a long time I've been thinking, I'd really love to do that. I'd love to start that, but I don't want to do evenings. I don't want to do extra weekends and stuff like that. So, so I've learned that actually I can trust my business in the hands of someone else, and hopefully that's going to help to grow going forward.
That is huge as well. That is not a small thing. So yeah. Well done, Sophie. When you said before, like, again, the word was something like it survived because of her. You said about your business. It hasn't. It's helped. She's helped, but it's also survived because of you.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps giving away their superpowers. Take the superpower. Got my superpower jumper on.
Love that.
Thank you, Sophie. Nicola. Woo! Hi, Nicola. You, Nicola.
Hi, there's a lot of Nicolas on here now. Okay, I am proud that my business is still going, because sadly I've seen a lot of small businesses close this year. Businesses that were thriving in lockdown, that they started in lockdown, have definitely been knocking on death's door, which is sad. And I'm also proud that off the back of my business and becoming a tutor, the founder of Art and Sip asked me to become CEO and run his business. So I'm now running 2 businesses. And I think I've said before in previous meetings that I like it when my plate is full and I'm juggling lots. That's when I thrive. And I'm definitely doing that now. So I'm in my happy place because I'm busy. But leading on from that is challenges. I'm now so busy and I have to get out of my comfort zone. I have to talk to people and like run events and things like that. But I'm actually finding that I'm okay with that now. So I'm getting over my challenges by facing my fears. And yeah, that's where I'm at, really.
I mean, that's mega, Nicola,
It
actually.
is quite big.
Yeah. But you are a really warm, engaging, and like you've got a lovely like aura about you. So I think you'd be so good at speaking and welcoming people and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
That's okay. It's
I think
true.
I'm blushing.
Kerry.
Hello.
Hello.
I've just looked back at my goals from January. I haven't done any of them. I haven't moved anywhere with any of them. So I think they were the wrong goals. That's my conclusion.
You got great hair though, Kerry.
Yeah, that's it. I am proud of my accounts are nearly done for this year, which is good because I'm normally a January person and I just cram it in January. So I'm nearly done. I've kept my client numbers up and I've done less work, weirdly enough. So I've slimmed down all my admin side of things. So I have no less time with the families I'm with, which is the bit I love doing. And all this rubbish writing stuff down is all shrunk, which is good. And I had a big block about asking for reviews. So I would send a separate email request at some point saying, please leave me a review. And as I was pressing send, I was going, ooh, I want to send this. And now it's just part of my email to everyone. So everyone just gets the, if you'd like this, please leave me a review. And they've been really nice reviews. Challenges, bit of ill health, nothing terrible, but just took me out for the whole of February. Bereavements. My daughter had her first boyfriend. That felt like a massive thing to help her navigate. And then my learning, in my music work, I had my boundaries really tested, and I kind of went outside them, and I ended up kind of working outside my own principles, trying to do what somebody else wanted me to do. And it sort of backfired. I recovered it and it was fine. But it taught me never to sort of cross my own lines. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's just not. I need to be really firm on how I operate. And I've learned that I suppose I'm probably one step ahead of where you are, Gemma, I've got, and similar to Amy, if I have a client speak with me on the phone, I notice that the chances of them booking just go through the roof. It's like 98% or something or other of phone calls ended up with a booking appointment. And funnily enough, the ones that don't is often me saying, you don't need me, you need a different service or whatever. So I set up a system on my website where I have routine calls so people can just book in straight away. And I realized that the process of the client finds my website straight through to the client actually speaks to me was the bit I really had to focus on getting really slick. So once I got that sorted out, I had call times when people could just book and ring me. But one mistake I'd made was that I made it possible for someone to book a call with me at 10 o'clock at night and speak to me at 8:30 the next morning. And then I missed one. And as soon as you kind of miss one and don't get to call back, that to me just feels icky and horrible. I've set it all up. It's been so efficient that I've literally let them down. So I've cut off the morning calls now. So if anyone contacts me before 10 p.m, I can speak to them at 4:30 the next day, but no earlier. And that just makes me more reliable and much quicker funnel through to them speaking to me. And most of the people I speak to are in urgent need of help. So that feels even more important. But definitely having, if calls for whatever your first stage of booking is, Gemma, maybe that's the bit to start with to make that easy. Or have a WhatsApp link on your site or something that helps get your clients to you quick, maybe. But so that's my learning. Done it.
Thank you, Kerry. I was like really engaged in the whole story. Nicola Walsh.
Hello. I can't remember my goals, but there's a lot has changed since January. So things I'm most proud of is this month I am fully booked. I've had to close my bookings for calls and stuff. And I haven't actually sat and done my numbers, but I think it should mean I've hit my income goal, which is really cool. I have been asked, which I should be starting this month, to now be a trainer for a course that I did a couple of years ago on all things tech. So that's cool. And I have launched my Facebook group, which is not something I planned to do, but I've now got 57 members and it's been open 2.5 weeks. So
amazing. Well done.
Yeah, so I'm proud of that. Challenges is switching off. I think because I'm very much trying to get it all going and keep it consistent, and subsequently with that is I've lost a childcare day. My nan over Easter, bless her, she's nearly 90, and before she got ill, she was super independent and like didn't really need, she could like function completely by herself, bless her. And then she got ill over Easter, and now I feel is acting like a 90-year-old. So it's taking out my whole, like my mum basically can't do any childcare now. So that's been a real struggle. So I'm only working 2 days a week, and then I'm having to work in the evenings just to, and sometimes a bit of the weekend to kind of make up that lost day. Which means then I feel like I'm constantly attached to my laptop, which is not great, but hopefully it's temporary. And so therefore also subsequently my own marketing has gone out the window, because what I have realized is to get to my income goal, to be fully booked, takes up all of the hours that I have. So I'm kind of restructuring some of my offerings, and slimming down what I offer people so it's more package based than hourly. Because obviously when people hear VA, like tech VA, presume pay by the hour kind of thing, but I'm thinking with tech, I'm looking to package it up for certain things so that then I'm not clock watching all the time, and which I feel like I do a lot at the moment. And connected to that, my main learnings are to only say yes to the people and clients that align with me and what I'm doing. Like, I think because I was just getting started, I was saying yes to anybody, and then realizing that yes, I can learn tech pretty quick, but if it's not a platform that I'm really comfortable with or a program that I'm really comfortable with, it's just taking too long. So I'm really like slimming down. These are the programs that I use, and if you don't use me, then I'll find, like in my Facebook group, I've got people in it that can do other stuff to me, that like in the tech world, so that I can say, well, I can't do that, but this person can. And trying to build up my network of tech people, so that they still come to me in the group to ask the questions, but then I can pass them on. And what's the other thing I learned? Well, yeah, and that's one of the things I have learned is that I do pick things up quickly, and that is my superpower of then being able to explain it to other people. So like the main thing that happened to me since January is the whole Google Yahoo email authentication thing, which I picked up pretty quick, and I've like helping people understand it. Like I literally was doing it with someone today, and they were like, how do you know this? And I was just like, I just got it, just worked in my head what I need to do. So yeah, that is what I've learned, I guess. And that hopefully, I think I read somewhere that the first 2 years of business, you kind of, I needed to focus on my business and the boys, and something that like Jen said, and then the house can just wait, like the mess can just wait.
It just comes back anyway, Nicola. So
Yeah, it's very true.
Depressingly. I think, yeah, again, like well done. And you only said you haven't got time to market because your Facebook group is going to be such a good lead generator for you now. That might be all you need to fill your 2 days a week. So maybe that's the easiest and the most efficient way of finding your leads anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm changing my website to funnel people to, because I'm running like a free masterclass every month to funnel people to that, and then that means I only have to worry about posting in there and
yeah, yeah. It sounds very efficient. Well done. Lucy, do you know what we're doing? Because obviously you came in late. So it was proud, challenge, and learn where I was heading. So what you're proud of from the last 6 months, what your challenge has been or challenges, and like where your learnings are at the moment to move forward.
Thank you. I'm so sorry I was late.
Fine, don't
It
worry.
gives people confidence that even a sleep consultant can have a tricky bedtime. Then I'm your lady tonight.
Well, of course.
But I've worked the last 3 evenings, and so my 4-year-old got to the point she was like, Daddy was not going to cut the grain. So I was like, actually, it's going to take me half an hour and Neil probably about an hour and a half. So apologies for being late. So I think what I'm proud of for the last 6 months is, I think it was probably one of my goals is just for things to be a bit more consistent and not have like a really busy month and then a really quiet month. And a lot of that is out of my hands because it's just when people come forwards needing support. But it has been a lot more consistent since January, which has been really good from kind of a profile perspective, income perspective, just feeling like we were moving in the right direction. So that's really good. I think the next one is proud and a challenge is I definitely said one of my goals, I haven't got the written down, but I know it would have been, is that work-life balance and trying to make sure that I think it rhymes a bit with what Nicola Walsh, feels weird using his surname, was saying in terms of you try and cram everything in, because I've got 3 school days at the moment with no children, and you try and cram everything into that time, and then you do end up doing evenings or other times. So I've really tried, once I get to 5, unless something's pre-booked in, my phone goes off and I really try not to do it. But I haven't got there yet, which I think links into the next one, which is learnings. And I think I'm at the point where I probably need to start trying to look into a VA or something just to give me a few more hours. And it was something someone said to me last week, and I keep on saying I want to do my corporate stuff and I want to work on my school stuff a bit more, but at the moment I don't have time. September is when it will kickstart, when Liv goes to school. But actually I have got that time if I got someone else to do some of my admin. So it's kind of, yes, it will cost me some money, but actually, what would I make if I do launch my corporate packages and I get 2 bookings a month? That will pay for it. So I think they're all a little bit jumbled into each other, but that's probably what I would use.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And it's like a progression, isn't it? And
Yeah.
well done on being busy. That's like mega, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's good. Lots of people sleeping much better than they were before.
Yay. Sarah.
Hello. So my one of my biggest goals links into what I'm proud of, which is taking on a class leader. So that was something I really wanted to do, and I can really resonate with what you were saying, Sophie, about how it feels to hand over your business to somebody else to be running those classes for me. And it's been a really positive experience. It took a while because the process started back in September, but I feel like everything that happened in the lead up to her coming on board was for a good reason. So she's brilliant, and I'm really pleased with how it's going. And so that was my business thing, and my personal thing was my youngest has started preschool, and it was a big step for her to start because she's very attached to me, and I had real visions of her being the child having to be peeled off of me and at the door, and her going in crying, and she didn't. And we did lots of work with her, lots of reading, lots of role play, lots of like prep, and it worked. And I was really pleased and proud of her because she's started, and it's been a really smooth process. So that's been brilliant. And when you were saying, Linda, about how you finding this process of writing things down, my biggest challenge was trying to remember what has even happened in the last, I'd forgotten really that Evie had actually started preschool. I was like, oh yeah, that actually happened back in April, because it almost feels like she's been, going for ages. So moving on to challenges. So obviously linked to taking somebody on, one of the big challenges has been because all of my classes have carried on, so she hasn't taken over any of my classes. They've all been new classes that she has done. So it's reminded me what it is like to go back to scratch and start brand new classes in locations that I've already got classes running, but on different days, and drawing in all those new customers. That whole process of marketing and advertising and getting people booked in. But in terms of learning, I feel like I have I've tried out some sort of different things, people doing trials, people having offers and things. And I feel like now I've got a bit of a better system in place, so that if I was to take on anybody else, or if she increases her days and does more classes, then I can go, right, I know that worked, so I'll rinse and repeat the process for that. And linking into learning again, I've really learnt the importance of delegation, and I've looked and taken on somebody to help with SEO and my website, and so again that helps with generating those new leads and getting people in. But a bit like you, Lucy, it was like, it's a cost that I don't really want to spend, but I've sort of learned that you just got to spend that bit of money so that it frees up my time, because I need better boundaries, and to not be working all the hours that I can. And something else that I've learned, which Danielle is in the group, I did she's the hormone optimization coach. I did a call with her, and I'm really learning how to work with my hormone cycle, and to follow that in order to be more productive at the certain times of your cycle. So it's a work in progress, but it's something that I'm learning as I go.
That's so cool. That's thank you, Sarah. It's so nice hearing from everybody, actually, because like you said yourself, so much happens in 6 months, and then you achieve something, and then you move on from it and you forget how awesome that is. Like your daughter starting preschool was a massive thing. And I wrote down what you said, reading and role play to prepare, and I was like, oh my god, is my daughter too old to do that for secondary school? Maybe not. let's practice you going to secondary school, because I am so nervous about September because of her attachment. So yes.
There'll be loads of good books out there, Linda. They'll be definitely and the whole kind of pretending to go to school and practicing it, and writing timetables out, and pretending to have a diary and write your school timetable and all that kind of stuff. Big drama advocate over here.
No, and people, you've got a few comments from people, by the way, about what you were saying, so you need to have a read through the comments. I will briefly talk about me, which always was a bit weird when you're the one doing the meeting. So my proud things are, I really did goal set this year, and like I said earlier, they're even laminated and they're up, so I see them all the time, and it's made a real difference. So when I look through them, I probably wrote too many. I'm a bit of a nightmare for wanting everything, but I really have stuck to so many of them, which is unheard of. And I'm making lots of progress. My main challenge this year was, one of my biggest goals was to completely have my website overhauled and be amazing. And it completely went to shit. There's no children around. I won't explain, doing too much detail. I don't want to say anything mean about anybody else, but that's literally not gone to plan at all. And so when everyone's talking about outsourcing, I totally agree. And the message everywhere, isn't it, always is that, you need to take on other people. You can't be an expert at everything. But when you try and do that, it doesn't work. That's quite hard too. So because you put your trust in someone else and your money, don't you? So it's a bit challenging, but it's, it will happen. I'll be like the phoenix rising from the flames. And another challenge is I'm really bad at sticking to boundaries, and I try so hard to, but I have one side of me pushing me forwards all the time, and the other side saying you should take a rest. But I'm like, no, if I take a rest, that won't happen. So I just squeeze things in all the time. And one of my biggest learnings, which I already knew, but we reinforce it, is that you don't have to continue to be who you were, if that makes any sense. So, and one of my biggest ones around that is money. Like, I'm determined to be very good with money, and I'm working at like all my money blocks, and I'm looking at my accounts every day, and I'm putting money into a savings account, and this is not me at all. So I'm determined, even though I'm married to an accountant, you'd never know. Like Jen knows how, like, I'm like, I have no idea how much money I earn. And now I do. So there you go. They're my learnings. I don't like talking about myself, it feels awkward. Right, let's carry on. So thank you very much for all your sharing. That was honestly really, really awesome. So when Jen and I were talking about this meeting, we wanted to sort of slim down things a little bit. And like, as I said to you before, I don't know if you can see these, but they're my business goals. They're my self-care goals. They're my family goals. There's quite a lot on all of them. And it's a bit mad, but you've got to aim high, right? So we were talking now about wanting to help you really slim down your priorities for the next part of the year. It doesn't have to be the next 6 months, but the next foreseeable, whatever that looks like to you. So we'd love you to, again, like, divide your page into 3, or just have 3 columns, and to write one goal under these 3 headings, okay, which is going to be really hard for me. So the first goal is relationship and family, or the first heading, sorry. So relationship and family. The second one is self-care. And under that is like health, joy, fun. It's like a kind of a bracket underneath. So self-care, which is health, joy, fun. And then your third column is business, or third heading, business. So relationship and family, self-care, brackets, health, joy, fun, and business. So what is the thing? You can write a few if you want to start with, and then you could then circle the one that's like feels most aligned. Do you think that's all right, Jen?
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. If you want to like just jot down like a number of goals, and then the idea is we want you to have one in each, so that you've got 3 goals that you're really focusing on going forward, because it can be so overwhelming to try and do so many things at once. And some of the goals you might still be able to achieve, but having 3 that you're really focused on, will have an impact and help you ultimately be more focused and progress those goals. So we'll give you a minute to write those down, and I'll try and do it too. How's everyone getting on? I'm thinking, I don't know what you think, Linda, but maybe we all write down in the chat like our 3 goals, like 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So when you figured it out, and if you feel happy to, you don't feel like you have to, share your goals in the chat. And if you can, remember when you're doing goal setting, like try and think of, and I don't think I've done this very well, but like dates or numbers or like quantities, if you can put them in there. Amazing. I'm going to read these as they come in. So Kerry, have a one-to-one day out with each of my 3 children. Oh, I love that. So important, isn't it, to have one-to-one with each child? I'm learning that now with 2. 2 goes theatre to see something you want to see, not someone else's choice. Get my online paperwork system finished so I can spend more time with clients and less time on admin. Yes. It's fun, like we've always got projects going on in the background in our business, haven't we? And it takes time to progress those things. So the next one was mine. So mine was family, start family bike rides again, because Jake's been a baby and not able to go on the bike, and we love bike rides, and it's such a connection thing for us as a family, and we've definitely been missing them the last 6 months. Self-care, I've been really bad with running and yoga, so like to do that once a week. And business, I'm having a session with my coach to try and figure out what I want my business to look like when I go back properly to work. Gemma, date nights, one-to-one time with your daughters, love it. Feels like we never see each other for quality time as they have their own lives. Yeah, I can only imagine as they get older, it's definitely the challenge. I love this because I feel like we'll read them and pick out other people's that help us as well. Sophie, 1, be more present, be strict with allocating work time and then putting the phone away. Yes. Someone was saying they were good at that earlier. I can't remember who that was. Is it Lucy? I think it was Lucy. You need to speak to Lucy. Gemma, walking, joining new choir and reading a new book a month. Oh, I love that. Are you right with me reading these still, guys? Yeah, I know you can all read yourself, but I think it's quite nice to share. Amy, relationships, be more present with the kids. Head's been mainly in business. I often feel like a chief organizer in taxi for their schedules. Yeah. Self-care, track your cycle properly. Yes, love that. Business, have marketing, a website that reflects my corporate work. Love that. Sophie, get running again, sign up for a half marathon. Oh, wow, that's so impressive. Love that. Nicola, relationship, so help get support for my nan. Yeah. Plan her 90th party. Oh, wow, amazing. 1 day a month that's for you. Have a day of learning, shopping day, sit and binge watch TV. Yes. Update your website with your new offerings and market just those on social and in my Facebook group. Yeah. Sophie, expand your timetable to be offering a wider variety of classes. Amazing. Crawling yoga sounds incredible, by the way. Linda, read Hold On to Your Kids book. Oh, I think we all need to read that as they get older. Continue exercising, reduce sugar. Oh, that's good. Website complete by summer holidays. Yeah. Boundaries for phone, for business. Yes. Sarah, focus on family time to go on new adventures. Yeah, I think you wrote that at the start of the year, Sarah, and I think I had that as one of mine as well. I love that. Aligning your hormonal cycle, relaxed time, streamline processes, delegating, putting systems in place. Love it. Nicola, more holidays. Both my husband and I work from home, so getting out of the house is needed. Yes, absolutely. Number 2, no self-care. Well, fair enough. We'll have to think of something. You can work on that one. 3, securing a second venue, more stock in shops, launching the art and wellness stuff. Oh, sounds very interesting. Want to hear more about this? Wow, that's amazing. Anyone want to comment, or Linda, do you want to say anything?
I just think it's really nice to slim them down a little bit and have 3 really pivotal ones. And I would massively encourage you to put them up somewhere. So I tend to do my exercise in the kids' playroom, and they're just there in there, because that's where my little desk is. And they're just in my eye line all the time. And although you don't realise it, you are noticing, and you are like, and something I've taken to doing, which is a little bit embarrassing, and my husband caught me the other day, is I high five myself quite a lot when I achieve something. I'm like, go Linda. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, high fiving myself. Because you've got to notice, haven't we, when we do stuff, and like we've got to keep cheerleading ourselves. So that's my main thing. High five yourself, guys. I went to get a laminator. Oh, Jen, just borrow mine. Email it over.
No, I need to get
I
one.
actually have 2. The ex-teacher in me. So you can have one. I'll dig it out. What we were going to ask you to do next is, underneath your goals, can you now write down actual tasks attached to them? So like, what are you going to do next? Okay, so like Jen suggested doing this in a chronological order. So okay, what's your first steps? So you want to do that, so how are you going to do it? Just so we can start being proactive. Of course, go.
No, go on, you finish. No, I'd something.
I finished. Go on.
Yes, so not necessarily before you do that, but as well as doing that, the other thing we wanted you to do is almost write yourself like a purpose statement for your goal, because quite often we might write a goal like, I don't know, go running once a week, but can you write yourself like a purpose statement behind that goal that's a kind of a bit like a positive affirmation around it? So these are my goals for earlier in the year. So I was struggling with my son's sleep, as Lucy will know. I need to show, I was desperate for some help. So one of my goals was Jake's sleep. So I wrote a statement that says, like, Jake in a sleep routine, day and night, taking naps easily and calm. He sleeps 7 till 7 every day. We're not completely there yet, but like, can you write yourself a purpose statement for that goal? So it's like, maybe if it was a website goal for your business, it's like, my website is reflecting my corporate brand, and I'm getting new clients come through on it, or something like that. I've just read a really good book. I can't think what it's called now. The Power of Less. That's what it is, and I found it really, really valuable. And there was a few things in that, but that was one of the big things I took. And the other thing I wanted to say is, definitely write your tasks down, like Linda was saying. And the purpose of focusing on just 3 and like writing your tasks and having a purpose statement is about progressing your goals. So we always talk about like, let's achieve our goals, let's smash our goals, but actually we don't just go from like, we haven't achieved our goals to we have achieved our goals overnight. It's like, let's think more about the gradual progression towards our goals, as opposed to feeling crappy that we haven't made it, or like trying to get it all done in one go. Like your website, Linda, is a great example. Like, you've got a really clear date now. Like, you're not going to get it all done in like 1 week. Like, give yourself credit and map out what you need to do to progress those things. So again, going back to my Jake sleep one, I had my list of actions was like, cancel all my social plans, because me and my husband talked this through and we like decided what we're going to do. Keep a diary of all the sleep, start sleep training that we'd agreed that we were going to do, and like, so there was like steps we were going to take that we'd agreed. So can you write down for each of your 3 goals, like, what do you actually need to do to make it happen? Like, do you need to have a conversation with someone? Like, do you need to speak to your partner? Do you need to speak to someone in your family to make something happen? Like, what's an enabler? Do you need to set a new boundary? Do you need to plan something, set a date for something? Like, give yourself the time to think about what are the steps for just these 3 goals that are going to help you progress them and move forward. Does that make sense? Like I've just monologued at you.
Yeah. All my goals in January are written as if they were already true as well, which really does work. It's just tricking your brain, isn't it? Every single one was a positive statement. Yeah.
Does anyone want to share that, like their goal and their purpose statement and their like order of what they think they need to do to move it forward, or want to like work it through? We've probably got time for like 1 or 2, you think, Linda? It's 1:45
Yeah.
at the moment. Yeah. There's power in sharing and saying it out loud.
I've realised I need to ask my partner to take a couple of days off work so that I can get on with my particular part of the business admin that I need to do. Because I work evenings and weekends, I max out those times anyway. And I was trying to find that extra bit of, if I invest this much time, it will reap so many rewards, but where is the time coming from? And I have to be really honest, because it isn't anywhere. So I kind of said, I don't really get holiday from work. So you take some holiday, I'm taking your holiday. So, and I think we can be, particularly as women, we can be really reluctant to do that. And so he's in a paid for salaried job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here on 2 businesses, and I have to give myself, someone to hand over everything else to and say, well, you're doing the washing, you're doing the children, you're doing the taxi service, you're doing everything that day. I'm working on my business. So it's 2 days, isn't it? You can do it for 2 days.
Love that. Yeah. Sometimes it takes you to just like take a step back to think differently and like, what do you actually need? What enablers do you need to make
What you just said too about the fact that he gets paid for his days off is really, really powerful, isn't it? Yeah, that's really hit home.
And to be sick, you get paid when you're sick. I mean, you know, all my work is hourly paid, 1-to-1. There's never a moment, you know, so none of us are being paid to be here right now. This is, if for all of us, this is extra to what we do. So yeah, it has to be. There was a time where earlier in the year, I mentioned the challenge, one of the challenges, we were ill. And there was a moment where he said to me, well, you'll have to cancel your teaching work because I can't cover that. And I said, no, you'll have to be ill from work. And because I can't cancel my class, I don't get paid when I'm ill, like you get paid when you're ill. So you're doing it. And I never kind of stood up for myself like that. And I thought, this is happening. And it's not that he walks all over me, not at all. He's a million times supportive, but it hadn't occurred to him that the shift could be my way. We're just so ingrained in what we do. So
as women, we have to make men see that, yeah, we need that.
Yeah. And you know, we probably do it, there's women doing it to each other, but in our relationship, it's he's in the salary job and I'm self-employed, and I love that, and I wouldn't want to swap it the other way, but it does mean a different juggle.
Yeah. Anyone else want to have to share? It's pretty nice to hear from you and see what thoughts are on stuff.
Linda, do you want to share?
No, not really. No, I can. I'm only joking. I actually wrote a purpose statement to my new web designer the other day because still isn't going that well, even with the new one, if I'm honest. And I wrote her a positive statement, which I thought was quite funny. Nothing had much has changed ever since, but I'm going to keep sending it to her. I thought I'll share that with you. Let me tell you, find what it is. My purpose statement to her was, oh, I can't find it now. I wrote, hello, I'm positively manifesting you making my new website. My positive affirmation, which I'm sending via positive vibes to you, is my website is awesome and is helping me be a magnet for sales. You, Julia, who's doing it, is amazing and is progressing beautifully, and it is progressing beautifully under her expert attention. And I'm just going to keep sending that to her. How is it? Is it still progressing beautifully?
Love it. But
since then, it's been her birthday, and her son had a sickness bug. So I'm like, hasn't progressed beautifully, but I will send it to her again tomorrow. So yeah, that's my purpose statement for her, because unfortunately, I'm a little bit unable to move it forward because it's not my project, if you like. But I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah, and knowing what you can control and what you can't control.
Yeah, I'm gonna also ask to set some more dates, because the dates just shift and shift and shift, and try and keep them a little bit more, you know, set in stone, as opposed to just constantly.
Can you link the dates to payments or something as well?
Well, I've paid half already, and you pay the other half on completion. So not really. But I am going to say, can the summer holidays be a really hard boundary? It really needs to be. It's been going on since
to give
forever.
yourself like a 2-week buffer as well.
Maybe 2 weeks before the summer. That's a really good idea. Yeah. 2 weeks before the summer holidays be the hard boundary. Yeah.
Be stressing, it might overrun. So yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Power sharing. Any other advice welcome?
Any other goals you want to share, or
say again, sorry?
Any other goals anyone wants to share?
Everyone's been very quiet.
I don't mind doing one.
So
for the business one, I put to look into a VA, because I think that will unlock lots of different bits, but I don't even know where to start. And I know that there's quite a few that are linked into the Village Network, and if anyone uses one, who they'd recommend. But I think where I'm a bit stuck is, what would they do? Like in my brain, it's the stuff that I really don't like doing, like posting blogs on my website, or like I'd have to do the content, but the stuff I don't like doing, but I don't really know where to start. So breaking that down, I've put speak to some people and just have a conversation with some, try and identify in my week what takes time that legitimately I could give to someone else. And then set a bit of a boundary of, right, by the end of July, I would like to have identified someone, and with maybe a September start. So that's what I put for my business.
I keep thinking we almost need to hire a VA to exclusively work for the village and we all get a share. Does that make any sense? I think that would work so well, but I don't know how the hell we do that. Whereby there's like there's a certain number of hours in a week and then we'd book it when we need it. Does that make any sense? And I think between all of us, we definitely fill someone's week. But yeah, I don't know how that works. I was thinking of it because I have a cleaner that comes and I clean with her. And I almost did a VA that works with me because that's kind of how my brain works. And I was almost thinking about asking her if she wanted to stay for an hour at the end of the cleaning and see if she wants to just do admin with me as well, which really isn't her job. But that's how my brain works. So basically, without me overwhelming you, Lucy, I sort of feel the same. I feel like I need extra help, but I feel a little bit like powerless about how to do that.
Yeah.
Nicola, have you got any being a VA? But I know you're not. You're not that sort of VA. That's the problem. You're above this.
Well, no, I was just writing in the chat that, yeah, I'm happy to have a chat with you, Lucy, because it really is about because there is lots of different types of VAs. So obviously I'm a tech VA. When you said about uploading a blog to a website, that's what a tech VA would do. But then if you want more inbox management, I would say that's not what I do. That's a different kind of VA. And then like Helen, who I'm associate for, who's part of the village, Helen Brush, she's a lifestyle VA. So she does a lot of booking appointments for people, but like personal stuff. So it is really, I think, like what you said about listing out the tasks that you want. And then it's almost like putting it out of this is what I want people to do. And then seeing what kind of VA that fits. Because I'm in loads of Facebook groups and they're like, these are the jobs. I need like inbox management or diary management. And it's like, or if you want someone to do more tech stuff, it's like they need to know this system and they have to be able to work on that system. Or there's no point, you're going to end up doing more work showing them what to do.
Yeah,
it might be worth you just capturing for like a week or two what you're actually doing and just capturing your hours and your tasks roughly, and then maybe if there's any other projects, and then like reflecting on that and then having some chats.
Yeah, thank you.
And what it is you use, yeah, like you do it in this and you do it in that, rather than, because like what I've found working with different people as well is you need, I said, you need to find someone that works with what you work with, otherwise you're just going to spend all your time explaining them how to use it.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky that because I'm a franchisee, we have got a really good booking system. We've got a CRM system, so I'm lucky in a sense that all of the bits that you were talking about in terms of kind of booking people in, that's semi-automated, which is good. I think mine is the social media, website, that stuff that I find myself at 9:30 at night going, oh, I haven't done this, I need to quickly put something out on Instagram. But yeah, thank you, there's some really useful and helpful tips there.
So it might be worth talking to a social media manager, I don't know if that's the right word, but social media VA as well, that maybe you could consider a few options.
Like you said, it's not a one size fits all. It's not like you're looking for a cleaner's probably a good one. Like they all do so many different things, don't they? But I did get a cleaner, and I think I said that before, and that has revolutionized how I feel about my house. That has definitely helped.
So you're in Colchester, aren't you? Can you give me their details?
Yeah, well, she's not got any space at the moment, but if she gets one, I will let you know. She's very good with Limescale, which
I love
sent me a picture of my sink the other day.
Who does not need their Limescale sorted? I don't know.
Yeah, if you live in Colchester and you haven't got a soft water thingy. But yeah, anyway, that's me.
But in all seriousness, maybe we need to consider a village VA. It might be something that could be really cool and would be like an opportunity for someone. I don't know how we find such a person and whether Nicola would need to be paid to train them up. I don't know. But
I would definitely talk to Helen because she's got a team of associates, which I am one of. but obviously she's a village member. She has, I think she's got about 5 of us now. So she knows how to
Okay.
onboard VAs, and she could probably find you one.
Okay, well, maybe I'll put a post in the village and say, is anyone else interested, and how many hours a week do you think you need, and do you want to do like a collective thing? Don't know. It's just something I thought about for ages, that could be really cool. But yeah. Thanks everybody. Does anyone want to add anything at the moment to any of these conversations? I'm counting to 5, by the way, because that means I'm letting everyone talk. Otherwise, I have it of just starting to talk again. Okay, we're going to do just a little. I can't think what the word is. Switch off. What the hell do I call it? Wind down. I nearly said turn on, which wasn't the right expression at all. I'm going to turn you all on. I feel like we've come to a bit of a conclusion, haven't we? I don't want people to sort of be left hanging, but I feel like you've reflected, you've considered, you're now kind of forward looking again. But also, like, make sure that you keep noticing the things you have done really well, because that's so important. Otherwise, you're always striving for the next thing rather than realizing that we're actually doing pretty well as we are. And I think that's very, very important. So you should totally high five yourself, guys, just like me. Okay, so we're going to do just a little visualization exercise just to project us on a little bit. So what I'd love you to do, it's only going to be a few minutes, is just take a really nice deep breath. So in through your nose, filling your tummies with air, and then releasing it out through your mouth. And I'd like you to do that 4 more times, please. And you can just feel yourself letting go and easing a little bit. I'm just going to relax off your body a little bit, just so we can start the visualization process without holding on to tension. So just focusing, closing your eyes if you're happy to, on your forehead and all the little muscles in your forehead, just allowing them to relax. I'm rubbing my forehead, if that's any inspiration to you. It feels quite nice at the same time. And the little muscles around your eyes, just relaxing those too. And then heading down to your cheeks and your jaw. And just letting that tension ebb away. And the muscles just feel beautifully loose. And taking another deep breath. And then just focusing on your shoulders, because often they can be quite high and quite tight. And just saying, right, drop down now, shoulders. Might even wiggle them a little bit. It's time to relax down. And then on your shoulder blades, because they can feel quite tight too, just relaxing those off too. And then just allowing this soothing, calming feeling to just gently ebb through your body. I encourage you to see it as a purple light, which starts at your forehead and just eases its way down through your face, down your neck, to your shoulders. And then it gently just makes its way downwards through your arms, which become heavier. Then to your tummy, which just releases and expands. And down to your hips and your pelvis, which just ease. And then just gently down through your legs, which feel heavier. And then just lovely and relaxed And then into your feet. And if your feet are on the floor, just allow them to become aware of the surface beneath them and how nice it is to rest them on that surface. Because you're relaxing off that. And then I'd love you to just take one of your goals. Let's take the self-care one to start with. Just thinking, right, what's my goal here? And then I'd love you to project yourself forwards and either see yourself doing this goal or achieving this goal, and how proud you are of yourself. Really try and see this and feel this. And if it feels right, have a lovely smile on your face because you're so happy with yourself for how much you've invested in that self-care. And then you move on to your relationship or your family goal. And again, just see yourself doing this or enjoying this. Where are you? What's going on? You're so happy because you're making it happen. Again, you've got a lovely big smile on your face. This is exactly what you wanted. And then let's take that business goal. How does it feel to have achieved what you were aiming for? How proud do you feel right now? It feels so good to have focused on that goal and made it happen. And I'd love you to say a really big well done to yourself, because you can make all three of these goals happen. All the power is within you. And then taking one more lovely deep breath and just letting them go for now, because this is your time to relax. It's 4 minutes past 9. Some downtime is needed. And you just say, like, you turned up tonight, you're amazing, and you're very proud of yourself. And thank you very much for coming this evening. It's been so nice hanging out with you all. And we'll keep checking in Facebook group, and we'll just see how we get on. Because we can do this, right? We totally can. Night, night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
See you later. Bye, Gemma.